everybody, welcome to another episode of FIX THE XJ6. We are very close to getting this build done, but there is still a million little jobs to do, and I want to try and knock out as many of those now as I possibly can. I'm going to have to be careful, because I've mildly messed my back up. If you've been watching for a long time, you'll know I have had some serious back issues in the past that ended up being like 8 months of not being able to do anything, but we're not going to go down that route again, so I'm going to be really careful, very careful, and get what I can get done. As mentioned before, Haslemere Motorcycles were absolute legends to help me get this part, the chain rubber, so we have that now. And what I've got laid out here is all the fixings that are required to put the bike back together. There's a few small jobs like I need to put the horn back on, there's like this little plate that goes back on. I also want to get the front mudguard back on and the brake lines installed with the lever. And there's a few other bits and pieces like getting the chain on. So let's just see how far we can get today. Wiimoto supplied me a horn, thank you very much, but I ended up using it on the DRZ because I needed a smaller horn to fit in to do with the modifications that I'd done. But this is perfectly usable still and of a decent size, so a bit of a bike swap with the horn. Okay, so we need to pop these rubber grommets back in. And there's one of these sort of collar sleeves that pokes through that way. There's like two different sizes here. I've got to make sure I get the right way out. That's a bigger one. And these ones that are slightly smaller, the bit goes on the outside. Okay, so we just pop that in there. It's a tight squeeze, come on. And that sits like that. I don't remember which bolts will go where, but this is more like a vanity bolt, so this is bound to be this one here. Right, I'm just going to leave this loose for the minute because I can't remember if there was a bracket here or not for the brake lines. So I'm going to put the lever back on and then put the brake lines on their way down, and it'll make sense then to me, I'm sure. By the way, apologies for the soundtrack of birds in the background. There is nothing I can do about that. They're in a bush outside the garage. They are growing in number. I mean, it's good. The sparrows, we need them, but my God, is it annoying. This is upside down. This is not the way you put a brake lever on. Maybe in Australia, but in England we do it this way round. I may have mentioned in a previous episode that I was thinking about replacing the bars with something newer, and I do want to do that at some point, but the reason I haven't yet is because I haven't been able to compare the bend of these bars to some third-party ones to make sure I get the right bend, because I really like the shape of these and the way that they have the seating position on the bike. So I guess we'll have to wait till the cove is over and we'll go and look in the shop. Now, where was that? Probably as far over as it can go, but not quite. So there. Oh, don't pull the brake, you fool! That'll do for now. You did it again! Thanks to hell, they supplied a set of braided brake lines for me. If you want to know what braided brake lines are and why you want to use them, I have recently made a video just on that subject. So if you want to know more, watch that. Otherwise, I'm going to get on and fit these. Hell, thank you so much for sending me these. I'm very grateful. Now I need to work out what everything is. Jump cut. Okay. So it turns out this isn't the right kit for my bike because this is for the ABS version. In 2010, there was two versions, ABS, non-ABS. I was stood here looking at this thinking, this just doesn't seem right. I gave Hell a quick ring and they were like, no, that's the ABS version. We don't actually do the non-ABS version, but if you send your lines to us when you send these back, in the same day we can turn around and clone your lines for you into braided lines. So they are going to make them, and then I guess they'll have the size to do them in the future. I don't know, but they're going to clone my lines. So unfortunately the brake lines can't be done yet. That, I guess, is about a week or so until I'll have those back from now, maybe 10 days. So I guess we're just going to do every other job we can do, and then this video will be done, and then we'll continue when we can. We do not cry. Big boys don't cry! There is lots of little jobs to be done, like this little plate needs to go in. I have bolted the tank down. I did that while I was on the phone earlier on. I needed something to do. I would spray it, but it's so cold right now that it's just not going to work. There's another part of the plastics actually that I do need to paint, and that's, yeah, I guess the delay might be helpful if we get some warmer weather. So basically there's a little trough in here that the cables go in. And then one end hooks down and the other one's got a push pin. And it just keeps that neater. I'm filming this for my own uses just in case hell need to take them apart so I know where the brackets go. And these are the brackets which are on these on the front lines. Which take the other bolt holes, which is why I can't bolt that on yet. So I've got a bag named horn mount. This is the horn mount itself. This is for the brake line. This connects to the frame, and this is what the horn goes on. I need to switch this bar over. I've had to make a couple of mods. I used the arm from the horn that Moto sent me, which I had to drill out one end to fit here, and I also had to drill out this to fit this one. But now we have a nice small horn, and we can now mount that into the bike. Okay, then the two connectors are just hanging here. I assume they're the right way around. Does it matter, the horn? I can't think now. Oh, I need a key. Has Divvy got the horn? Jesus! Okay, just to let you know, that horn was never that loud on the DR. That is ridiculous! Here is the old chain rubber, and I couldn't work out if this piece was just like an edge that went up to here and came across and there wasn't a hole here, because it looks so clean and nicely cut. Well, as it turns out, yeah, the chain had just cut it all away. So, it was good that we got that replaced. Again, thank you, Mike at Haslemere Motorcycles, legend, for helping me out with this. In the name of all that is holy, how do you get this on here? Oh, okay. Wasn't as hard as I thought. As we're up here, this nut isn't actually done up, so it should just pop off. So the old nut that we had to destroy to get off, and thanks to Moto again, we have a lovely new one. And you can see this has got that flanged sort of side to it that you knock down into the hole like a tab washer. By the way, that was not fitting it was just getting it done up. Now we need to pop the chain on. Again, thanks to Moto, we have a nice new chain. Let's just run that around. I'm not going to get into a debate over this one because it's personal preference and it's my bike, so I can do what I want. But you should really use riveted links because they are stronger and more trustworthy than a split link, which is a quick disconnect thing. Now, I've used split links on every bike I've had. I've been riding for 13 years at this point. Never had a problem because I've always made sure they were fitted correctly, and I've done off-roading and all sorts. This had split links before, I'm going to use them again. I like them, okay? Best practice, safest option, stick a rivet link on it. Right, now we get to the hellish part of trying to get a DID chain split link together. I broke a mini vise trying to do this before now. Yeah, unfortunately, the only way I got these together before was this little mini vise I had, and I'd put two nuts over the pins, clamp it on the other side, squeeze it, it would all clamp it together, and then I could make sure it was properly down and get the pin in. I broke that in half doing it last time. Problem solved. No, I'm joking, obviously. I'm just doing that so it all stays together so I don't lose any of it. I'm going to have to buy a tool, I think. We've got to wait on the brake lines anyway, so it's not that much of an issue. Today's Friday, I forgot to mention that, so I can't send those back till... I might be able to send them tomorrow if I'm quick, or Monday. They should have them Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'll send them quick. They said they can get them made and returned in a day. Wow. So it'll be like 2 days after that they'll arrive at my door. So less than a week, I should think, thinking about it, actually. But from now, that would be 10 days. Anyway, yeah, that's just also so I don't forget. Well, another job is to fit this back on, which goes here. Now you'll notice in the video sponsor card for this video, there was Solent powder finishers. They've been in it for a while. It's because they did these to me ages ago. Really fast. And I did say to them, you don't have to be that quick because it's going to be a long time. It's been way longer than I thought it was going to be before they were shown on camera. I did show these in a Patreon exclusive. But these are the original crash bars which they've repowder coated. If you remember, these are rusty and horrible. They have done an absolutely lovely job on this. So thank you to Solent Powder Finishers. Links in the description. They did this via mail, so if you want to get anything done, check them out. The rear brake switch connector is right in the middle here, and I realised it was going to be a million times easier to just re-unbolt the tank. I've got that plugged in now. I couldn't show you any of that, it was just like hands in like this. As you can see, my chain rubber is a bit spent, so I've just sliced it with a Stanley knife to pull it off. And you'll notice it's got like a dome one side and a flat on the other. The new one, thanks to Wiimoto, has a dome on one side and a flat on the other, so we know it needs to go on that way. And I'm just going to spray a bit of WD-40 and just push. And you've got to push it on far enough that the dome comes out the other side all the way, because that's what actually holds it on. Lovely. Okay, so the bottom hole isn't used in connecting this, so that's a good one to put in first. Lift it all up. Get it to line up with that hole, and then get it to line up with the hole on the bike. Sounds easy, right? At the front of this cage, there's a bar that comes from each side and meets, and it's got a bolt top and bottom. I've just loosened off both sides because I forgot I hadn't done that up. So I loosened it off so it's all loose, did those up so it all lines up properly. Now I'm going to do up the attachment bolts, actually tighten them down. And that way it will sit where it wants to sit. You see that where it meets in the middle? There's two bolts there that just join that together. So I let those meet up properly and then got everything to sit right. Well, my elbow pop, does that work as a torque wrench? I don't have the settings for these. I've searched for them, so I'm doing it by my own mechanical sympathy. Oh, I've got to be careful doing all the slow down work. It's doing my back in. Right, that's attached. That's attached. That's all attached. You know what? We could always do one more little job. Just one last jobber. These are held in with push pin clips on the underside. And these get little grommets. Then the grab handles go on. This Bosch impact that I bought, and I bought this with my own money, I bought the smaller one, the more driver type one, so I could do smaller bolts on the bike. I've come to realise I was hoping that this might be able to do some, you know, put a socket on it and do a few things. Small stuff, yes. Large stuff, no. This thing has no power. But the opposite benefit of that is I don't mind using it in places like this. Because it's not really done it that tight. That might seem like a lot, but in reality, it's not. In fact, yeah, I'm actually going to give them another little nip. Okay, so those are the last two clips in. So that's the back end back on. Okay, so it's the following day, and I've just finished up editing this video. As you can see, the CBR and the wheelbarrow is back in here. We actually got a reasonable amount done. I'm quite happy. And I've realised that I can actually put the fairings back on without the brake lines. It will just make putting the brake lines on a little bit more complicated, but it should be okay. So in the next video, I'm going to get the last few jobs done, give it a clean from the underneath, you know, just everything that's going to be hidden. And then I'm going to get the fairings back on, and get literally as much stuff as we can physically get done in the next one until we wait for the brake lines to turn up. If you're enjoying this video series, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, ignore the chainsaw in the background. For Christ's sake, I've been waiting half an hour for them to stop using it. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please consider joining Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Many benefits to that, including playing games with me on Discord and chatting with me and stuff like that. Bye-bye.